now we come to the grave of John Harrison. Does anybody know anything about him?
Wasn't it a sailor or something of the sort?
John Harrison was the inventor of the marine chronometer, which was a timepiece which effectively solved the problem determining longitude at sea. The clocks at that time couldn't survive long sea journeys or variations in temperature, so Parliament offered a prize of £20,000 to whoever could find a solution to this problem. £20,000 being equivalent to about £3 million today. This long inscription on his gravestone tells the story of his life and incredible achievement. He wasn't actually a resident of Hampstead, but his family chose to bury him here, and as you can see, his grave lies to the south side of the church, very close to the original entrance, which is a very important position indeed. Now we'll head over to the other side of the church. Reverend Smith, good to see you. How are you settling into the parish?
Very well, yes. A bit of a treasure trove, this graveyard, isn't it? I'm actually something of an amateur antiquarian myself. Sort of a hobby, you might say.
Marvellous. Well, you've certainly landed in the right place.
Oh, one here. What about that little one there?
I've never noticed this one before. Quite a young grave, by the look of it. Probably someone very poor, given the simple engraving.
Oh, that's so sad, isn't that sad?
Well, it wouldn't take much to find out who they are. Just a quick rummage through the burial records.
Well, shall we move on, everyone?
Oh, he's not been bothered, is he? We're coming.
That's all.
Morning, Reverend. Some local kids were here again last night, doing God knows what. Ignorant little buggers.
Yes, buggers. Good job you and I are here to take care of the dead. Talking of which, I had a chance to look through the burial records. You know, about that small grave, the one with HWP marked on it. Couldn't find a thing. So odd, don't you think?
Not really. Records get lost. People forget. It's unlikely the grave holds any historical interest. Wouldn't waste my time with it if I were you.
Well, I'm sure you're right. It just seems odd that it's not even featured on the map.
That is a little odd, I suppose. But then, the position of the grave to the north of the church suggests there may have been something ignominious about the death. Suicide, perhaps. Who knows? People don't always want to remember such things. Then again, maybe someone just forgot to update the map.
Maybe. You say it was quite a young grave. How old would you guess that it is?
No more than 50 or 60 years, probably. I'd leave it alone if I were you, Reverend. Get on with taking care of the living.
I'm sorry to come barging in on you like this, Mrs. Jones.
Not at all, Reverend. It's a pleasure to have you. Isn't it, Godfrey? How are you enjoying Hampstead Parish?
Oh, it very much. Yes, thank you very much. My housekeeper tells me that you've been a resident of the parish for quite a long time.
Oh, ever since I was a young girl. Frankly, longer than I care to remember, Reverend. And how things have changed over the years.
Yes, may I get straight to the point? I don't suppose that you remember a resident of the parish who died 50 or 60 years ago with the initials HWP.
Oh, gosh. That's such a long time ago.
Yeah, of course, but I just wondered if you could try.
May I ask why?
I'm trying to rectify an omission in the burial record. There's a gravestone in the churchyard with just the initials HWP carved on it, and I wanted to find out who it is or was.
Why is that?
Well, we all deserve to be remembered when we die.
If I could remember everyone I've buried over seen buried over the years,
Well, yes, of course. I mean, the memory is an imperfect instrument. And that's why it's so important that we keep an accurate record of the dead.
But we'll be remembered by God in heaven. Isn't that what matters, Reverend?
Heaven? Yeah, oh, yes, of course. Yes. Well, I mean, in any case, I mean, if you do remember anything, just don't hesitate to get in contact, Mrs. Jones. I don't suppose you remember the name of the Reverend from that period.
let's see. That must have been Reverend O'Keefe. He was a young man, stern but friendly. Oh, I'm afraid I can't remember much more about him. Well, thank you for dropping round, Reverend Smith, and I'll see you on Sunday, God willing.
Yes, well, thank you very much for your time, Miss Jones. I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. Death, where are your plagues? Grave, where is your destruction? Good morning, Reverend O'Keefe. I'm Reverend Smith. I've just started at Hampstead Parish.
What? Who the fuck are you?
I'm Reverend Smith from Hampstead Parish Church.
Hampstead. What do you want from me? I don't know anything.
Well, I mean, it's a peculiar thing, Reverend, but I wonder if you might remember performing a burial. Many years ago now, somebody with a very small, anonymous-looking stone with the initials HWP.
Are you one of those male nurses?
No, Reverend, I'm Reverend Smith from your old parish, Hampstead.
Are you a homosexual?
No, Reverend, no, I need you to try and remember a stone with the initials HWP. Who's buried there, Reverend?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Get out of my room and send that bitch nurse in here.
No, please, Reverend, it's very important. You just try and remember.
Nurse!
Father, please. Who is HWP? I need to know. I mean, how can somebody just suddenly disappear from history without any trace, like they've never existed, they never lived? I just need to...
Bring them back from the dead?
Well, no. Of course not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, save them from oblivion, perhaps.
Oblivion? Is that what you're afraid of? Get used to it, my son. That's where we're all headed.